We make a mistake when we compare ourselves to the people that we emulate.
When will I know I'm ready?
And then we get down on ourselves for not being where they are.
You won't.
There's a lot of people telling him what and how and who he should be, because he's very much looking at Peter as his role model. And if you lean too heavily into it, it will actively sabotage you. And the thing with role models is we look to them because we're doing something we've never done before, and so we're looking at how somebody else did it. And that will only get you so far. You have to do you. And so really the film is about Miles growing through that into a place of power.
That's all it is, Miles. It's a leap of faith.
Sometimes you have to fall in order to get where you need to be.
Everything about this movie is pointing you in the direction of this is Spider-Man, not Spider-Boy.
What you had to contribute to the world is whatever you bring to it, your unique stamp. And this is such a powerful story for that.
You're the best of all of us, man. Just keep going.
We all did this to ourselves at 15, right? Like, we have our expectations and this is what we should be.
Some of us are doing it now.
We both need therapy. Hello and welcome to Cinema Therapy. I am Alan Seawright, professional filmmaker who needs therapy. Over yonder is...
I'm Jonathan Decker, licensed therapist who loves movies, and joining us today is...
I'm back, bitch.
Titans are back, bitch!
It's Sophie Tejas. She's a full freaking producer on the show now. You got promoted again,
I got
damn it.
promoted.
That's what happens when you have blackmail material.
We can't not promote her, or we'll be canceled.
So this is Therapist Reacts, but it's therapist and filmmakers.
Filmmakers reacting to the greatest film of 2018?
Johnny English Strikes Again.
Not that one.
50 Shades Freed.
Okay, the third greatest film of 2018, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Ooh.
A film which includes the greatest shot in cinema history.
The greatest shot in cinema history.
Concur.
And I'll be talking about relationships and stuff.
Yeah.
That's fine.
That's fine.
That's not what we're focusing on, but that's fine.
I just sound like Mickey Mouse.
Yeah, a little bit. A little bit.
Well, let's dive in.
Get out there and make me some damn money!
Now you on your own, bro.
So much I can talk about with this movie. Everything is amazing.
Slow down a little. That's better.
The glitching is super cool. The animation is so groundbreaking.
The animation, it took them a year before they finally came up with about a 5-second scene that they were happy with how it looked.
Yep.
Tell me
They were
about the texture, because there's a unique texture to the film that feels like it's printed on paper. Like some of the
Well, and what's amazing is they did it for the lighting. So bright stuff has, or shadows have cross-hatching or dot. What is the dot stuff called?
it's Kirby.
Kirby dots?
Kirby dot. No, not the dots, but what are they called?
Yeah, but the Kirby dots is what I'm thinking about, where
Yeah.
it looks like an old comic book.
Yeah, you can see it in the highlights around that light right there.
Yeah, yeah.
Miles, I see.
Ben-Day dots. That's what they're called. Thank you, producer.
You know me and your
Slender Man. Also a movie that came out in 2018.
Yeah.
This is an homage, I'm betting.
So everything that's out of focus is not actually out of focus because you can't draw out of focus things. So they just took multiple copies and made some of them semi-transparent.
Really?
And it looks like it's, look at his head. It looks like it's out of focus, but then if you focus on it, it isn't.
Well, and it does guide your eye to what they want you to be focusing
Yep.
on, which is super cool.
It's the same with they don't do a blur effect, like motion blur.
Yeah.
Because Lord, what's his name? Phil Lord?
Phil Lord,
He was one of the
Christopher Nolan.
directors for
Yep.
this.
I'm a huge fan about how this turns all of the Spider-Man tropes on their head.
Maybe my favorite joke in the whole movie. Visions. Okay, there's too much. There's too much for us to talk about. So we're not going to nerd out about everything. We get to pick one thing per scene to nerd out about. So what are you going to nerd out about?
It's probably the focusing stuff, like the chromatic abrasion. It's kind of what he was saying, where they have like multiple copies of it, but they're like just kind of off of the original, and it's like different colors, so it looks kind of fuzzy.
So the chromatic aberration, this is a lens effect that you get, where at the corners of something, if you have a sharp, bright image, light enters the lens and then it bends around and then it comes in and hits the film plane.
Yeah.
Or the sensor plane. So around the edges, you'll get chromatic aberration where blue will shift off one direction and red will shift off the other. Or some lenses will do green and red.
Yeah.
Or yellow.
But it's usually blue and red or green and red. And in this, they do that for out of focus stuff. They'll take a thing and then they'll copy it and they'll shift one to be a little bit red and turn the opacity down so it's like semi-transparent.
Yeah.
And so it feels out of focus and it feels like a lens thing, but it's like a comic book artist drew it, because everything in this movie is a comic book artist drew it.
Yeah.
So in addition to us just nerding out about the movie, this scene is setting up the entire arc of Miles' story.
Well, it's about expectations, right? I mean, he's reading Great Expectations in school, and his parents have specific things that they want for him to become. His uncle is saying, you should be more like this. I mean, he's just been bit by a spider. Once he becomes Spider-Man, there's expectations of that mantle living up to Peter Parker. And basically...
That are his own, like, how do I be Peter Parker?
Yeah, and there's a lot of people telling him what and how and who he should be. And that leads to a lot of insecurity, which leads to some performance anxiety as a superhero in school and his social relationships. And there's the shoulding that he endures freaks him out and keeps him from being comfortable and at ease and thriving. And so really the film is about him growing through that and past that into a place of power.
Well, and it's like the most relatable 15-year-old story ever. Right?
Yeah.
Like, we all did this to ourselves at 15, right? Like, we have our expectations and this is what we should be.
What our peers are saying.
Some of us are doing it now.
We both need therapy.
Did you know your shoes are untied?
It's a choice.
This is a onesie, so I don't really have to worry about it.
It's Chris Pine, right?
It's Chris Pine.
And they had to kill him.
I thought I was the only one. You're like me.
I don't want to be.
I don't think you have a choice, kiddo. Got a lot going through your head, I'm sure.
Yeah.
You're gonna be fine. I can help you. If you stick around, I can show you the ropes. I just need to destroy this big machine real quick before the space-time.
What I love about this is you have like 3 different Spider-Man, like main ones, and they all have like the Spider-Man wit.
Yep.
But it's so unique to each one. Like it's
Jake
very
Johnson
obvious.
Spider-Man is very different from Chris Pine Spider-Man, but it's close.
It's still, But just the notion of, I can show you the ropes if you stick around. Like right now, he's dealing with a Spider-Man who is well into his career.
Oh, he's been doing it for probably about 10 years.
Has worked out a lot of the kinks and is pretty badass at being Spider-Man. Mm-hmm. And we make a mistake when we compare ourselves to the people that we emulate, where they are versus where we are. And then we get down on ourselves for not being where they are.
I think the most important line, you don't have a choice. Like, he's very much just been thrust into this, and he doesn't want it, which I get it. He's 15. I wouldn't want to
I wouldn't want to be Spider-Man at 15.
Yeah, but that's also kind of now. That's kind of like the whole thing about this with the great expectations. Like, he has these great expectations, and he thinks he needs to be Peter Parker.
Right.
And this whole thing is about not being Peter Parker. It's about being Miles. So
I would counter that most people would want to have superpowers at 15. They just wouldn't want the responsibility that comes with them.
Right. Exactly.
He always said it could have been anyone behind the mask. He was just a kid who happened to get bit.
I'm going to miss him.
Yeah.
We were friends, you know.
Can I return it if it doesn't fit?
It always fits. Eventually.
Great poignant moment. And...
They actually have Stan Lee in the background in a bunch of different shots.
Yeah.
So it could have been anyone in the mask.
He chose to be Spider-Man.
Well, and that's the thing, because Spider-Man is two things. It's a series of powers, but it's also a series of ideals and principles to live by, and that's what anybody can be behind the mask means.
One kind or another. But in our own way, we are all Spider-Man. And we're all counting on you.
They're counting on
me.
Probably not you specifically. I think it's a metaphor.
What's funny is we all know that guy.
Oh my gosh. Well, and just Lord and Miller Film School, I would like to attend, please.
Oh yeah, this is great.
This is my favorite joke.
This is maybe the most cinematic joke in the movie. Building up, shot, big look down. Music swells. This is the power of cinema. You can't do that joke in any other medium.
And the music picks back up.
Okay.
Go again.
Here we go.
You're right. Like, it's a joke that you can only pull off in film.
Only do it in movies. And I have banged this drum so many times, I'm gonna keep banging this drum. You can't, in a book or a play or whatever, have this whole build-up and expectation of all this stuff, and the close-up, and the look down, and the close-up, and
And the music stops, and you can,
you hear his sneakers squeaking going down the stairs. I love filmed comedy, and Lord and Miller are the best at it. They're the best.
Psychologically, I want to talk about role models, because he's very much looking at Peter as his role model of how to be Spider-Man. Peter's gone, I'm Spider-Man now, they're counting on me. No matter what the guy next to me says, he doesn't know that I have spider powers. I have to assume the mantle.
Yeah.
And the thing with role models is we look to them because we're doing something we've never done before, and so we're looking at how somebody else did it. And that will only get you so far. Right. And if you lean too heavily into it, it will actively sabotage you, because what needs to happen is you need to bring your you-ness to the table. Because you have to put your own stamp on it for you to feel comfortable with it.
Right.
I spent a couple years doing what I thought a therapist should do, acting how I thought a therapist should act, and a lot of it was trying to age myself up and be more mature.
Right.
And what I realized is in therapy, people want my goofy ass self. You know, that is my meanness that I bring to it.
We have an entire YouTube channel based on it.
Subscribe, motherfucker.
Again, it's not a bad place to start, but you can't stay there.
Right.
And he's looking at the comics. What did Peter do? I'm going to go do that. Instead of what should my path look like?
Yeah, there's more that we talked about that got cut out of this episode. You can watch it on our membership site. You can see the director's cut where we geek out even more.
There's crying, there's laughing,
Tears.
there's hugging.
Tasteful nudity. It serves
Jono
the episode.
flashes an ankle.
It's artistic.
It serves the episode.
It serves a purpose.
It's good for my character.
You're right.
Miles, I came to say goodbye.
We can say goodbye at the Collider.
You're not getting it. You're staying here.
I need to be there, so you can all go home.
They are going home, Miles. I'm the only one staying.
You're taking my place? If you stay here, you'll die.
I'm doing what needs to be done. I just wanted you to hear it from me.
What about MJ?
Not everything works out, kid. I need the goober. Please don't make me take it from you.
That's not fair. You gotta tell them I can do this.
It wasn't their decision.
I gotta make Kingpin pay. You have to let me make him pay.
Miles, you're gonna get yourself killed.
But I'm ready. I promise. Ah!
Then Venom strike me right now. Or turn invisible on command so you can get past me. Look, I know how much you want this, kid.
Poor little guy.
But you don't have it yet. I'm sorry.
When will I know I'm ready?
You won't. It's a leap of faith. That's all it is, Miles. A leap of faith.
So previously, those two abilities, the invisibility and the venom strike, he's only been able to do when he was afraid.
Right.
You say a lot, Alan, that everything in film is intentional. I mean, I guess there are some happy accidents.
There's happy accidents, but yeah.
But especially
not
in
a lot in
animation.
animation. You don't get a ton of them.
That he's basically wearing a Halloween costume while the others have their actual spider person.
Yeah, the symbolism seems like it's pretty on the nose.
He don't got that cash flow yet. Can't afford it.
He can't afford it. He also, it's representing that he hasn't fully stepped into the persona of Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Right? Like he's still waffling.
The
He's
confidence isn't there.
He's half-assing it.
Well, and who Peter isn't a fit.
Yeah, he can't be
And
Peter's
so-
Spider-Man.
When he tries to be,
Yeah,
it's
he
on
can't
the
be red
nose,
and
but it
blue.
doesn't fit him.
Yeah, he can't be the red and blue.
You know, I love that you could see like his undershirt underneath that. Like I've worn that costume before. That's
The pants really resonate with me. I can't find pants that are long enough, so it's always just like above my ankle.
It's a hard thing to hear from a mentor that you're not ready. It's a hard thing to. One of the most unpleasant parts of mentorship is telling people the things that they don't want to hear that they need to hear.
Yeah.
And that you don't especially want to be the one to deliver the message.
Right.
But Peter B. Parker is delivering it. And how will I know when I'm ready? I think that's so true. I get that a lot about how do I know I'm ready to get married? How will I know when I'm ready to have kids? How will I know that I'm ready to start this career? When he talks about the leap of faith, I would add to that, you're not ready. That's what makes it a growth experience. Mm-hmm. The only time you're good at something and you're ready for it is when you've been doing it for a good long while.
Already done it for a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I see that as you've got to be able to step into it knowing you're going to take the hits. Okay, you were talking about Spider-Man Noir.
Noir.
Noir. Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
I've heard it both ways.
Noir.
I've heard it both ways. You haven't.
So he was the most difficult out of all of them to animate.
Why was he the most
Because
difficult
he's
to
in
animate?
grayscale, like
Okay.
it's just black and white. Like
So from a design perspective, or just doing his animation, or all?
I
of
think
the above?
the animation over it. Like the design is one thing, but
Yeah. He definitely ends up with the most dots and cross hatching and
Yeah.
stuff to do the shading.
Yeah.
That must have been a nightmare. Thank you, animators, for like having that nightmarish 9 months so that we could have this fun character.
And I love you have like the anime one who she shares a robot with a spider.
The robot,
You know, it's,
yeah, no, the robot was actually the second hardest.
And then Peter Porker, I always love that the animation styles are so radically different for all of them and have them on screen together.
And Peter Porker is just a classic Looney Tunes character.
Yeah.
To the point, you know, he pulls out the giant mallet.
Yeah.
He's like, here, it'll fit in your pocket.
Well, speaking of the animation styles, so there's animating, the most typical animation is animating on ones, which is 24 frames per second.
Yeah.
And you see it pretty clearly, like when they're in the forest and they're swinging together.
That is my favorite bit.
Peter's very smooth because he's very, he's done this for a long time.
And he's on ones.
So he's on ones, and then Miles is on twos.
Which means
And
every
so-
other frame is animated.
Yeah,
so
every
it's
other
just
frame is- so it's
holds
kinda
for a frame
choppy.
and then goes and then goes.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
So it gives it that like crunchy quality.
Uh-huh.
And it's very fun.
It's a
and
very-
it does the same thing like we talked in Lego Batman, where there's like 3 arms when it's moving. There's
Yep.
the main arm, and then there's another arm there and another arm here.
How did this movie come to be? Because we have Sony doing Spider-Man films, then pairing with the MCU. And like, who came forward and said, hey, we want to do a Spider-Man film, and also we want to trailblaze an animation, and not just this be some half-ass, like, League of Super Pets type thing.
They heard my pleas.
Miles. Miles is your dad.
So obviously his uncle
Open the door.
is a villain and is dead. And Miles
See
knows.
your shadow moving around.
Obviously.
Yeah, okay, I get it. I get it. You're still ignoring me. Look, can we talk for a minute? Something happened. Look, sometimes people drift apart, Miles. And I don't want that to happen to us, okay? Look, I know I don't always do what you need me to do or say what you need me to say, but I see this spark in you. It's amazing. It's why I push you, but it's yours. Whatever you choose to do with it, you'll be great. Look, call me when you can, okay? I love you. You don't have to say it back, though.
This is such great parenting. I mean, he doesn't know what's going on with his son. Or that you don't have to say it back.
Yeah.
Do not.
Don't say it back.
That's just reverse psychology. He came to express love for his son, to tell him something has happened, we need to talk. But also to recognize that just because my intentions were good doesn't mean that the results were good or that the approach was right, And I see the spark in you, and I just want to nurture it, and maybe I push you too hard, but it's your call, it's your choice, and whatever you do with it. I mean, this is the exact moment, because we're about to get into the greatest shot in cinema history. But that shot's not possible without this scene.
That's right.
Because for the very first time, Miles has heard from someone that he respects and loves, you do you. And I got your back when you do you, and it's going to be amazing. And he's not saying you don't, because the dad doesn't know, but he's essentially, you don't have to be Peter.
Yeah.
You don't have to be any of these other people that you look up to. You don't have to be me or your uncle. You be you, and it's going to be amazing. And it gives him the confidence to do what he's going to do.
You're amazing.
You are amazing. I can take that. You are amazing.
Oh, gosh, Alan. Oh, Alan. So it went invisible.
So Aunt May is a badass in this universe, which is the best thing ever.
Took you long enough.
She has a rocking chair in there. Why?
Is that Lily Tomlin? Because it reminds me of Lily Tomlin.
I can't remember.
No.
It's amazing. Whatever you choose to do with it, you'll be great.
Our family doesn't run from things.
You're the best.
Finally fits. The first time he looked, his face didn't match up with the Spider-Man
Yeah, it was like chest level.
No, I'm Spider-Man.
And the whole customizing it, because he's not just stepping into their suit; it's his suit now.
Well, he's got his Nikes.
He's got his kicks on.
And his hoodie. They spray painted it.
Here we go.
This shot.
There it is, folks.
Oh my gosh.
Is my background on every piece of technology that I own.
The only thing I don't like about that shot
It's
is
not
it
long
lasts
enough.
for 1 second. I want about 5 seconds of it.
Well, the cool thing about that shot, that they wanted it, the way that the buildings look, they couldn't just have them standing straight up. They're all shooting out at different kind of angles.
Yeah, it's the perspective of being closer to him on a super wide lens, so everything is distorted out and opening up to him.
Yeah.
When he was falling a little while ago and he shot his webs up and he's still falling, that's the first time you really feel like what that would feel like.
Yeah.
I really hope my webs catch before I smack into something.
Well, and that shot right where he's falling and shooting like that, it feels as good as the swinging in The Amazing Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Which none of the other Spider-Man movies do as well. It's The Amazing Spider-Man and just that one shot in here, but that one shot just nails it.
My kids love that song.
It's such a banger. Also, the best song, the best song on the entire album is 2 seconds long in the movie. And it's when his roommate walks in. It's Start a Riot by Duckworth. It's
Who
2
in here
seconds
wants to start
long.
a riot?
Love that song.
Yeah, that's so good.
That's what I play in my car when I have anxiety. I play rap music really loud when I have anxiety.
So do I. Except I do it in a minivan.
With so much drama in the LBC, it's kind of hard being Snoop D-O Double G. But I somehow, some way, keep coming up with funky like every single day.
So, Sophie, talk to me about the symbolism, greatest shot in cinema history. Not just because it looks really cool, but what does it represent? Why is he falling up?
Other than it looking fantastic.
Freaking awesome.
And being the greatest shot in cinema history. I think a lot of it is sometimes you have to fall in order to move up. Sometimes you have to take that leap of faith. You have to try something and it doesn't work out, or it works, but it was kind of a rough journey getting there.
Sure.
No matter what it is, it's still helping you get further, get where you need to be.
And in this case, it's a literal ascension through descension.
Yeah.
I mean, he's falling off the building, but his character is ascending, and so they have to do that to show it. I understand a little bit about movies because I hang out with these people.
It is the greatest shot that has ever been in a film.
A good example of falling up, flunked out of college, now a producer on a pretty successful show. It can happen. You'd think I'd be a white man by the way my life's going.
She's just failing her way to success.
Failing my way up.
Let's end this thing.
Guys, I got it.
I'll go. I'm the one with the goop. Oh, you gotta be kidding.
That one is also a great gag. The train hitting her.
What does he say there? Don't watch the...
Don't watch the hand, or don't watch the mouth, watch the hands.
Watch the mouth, watch the hands.
Like, all of this universe colliding stuff is so cool.
So great.
And you couldn't do it in live action, at least not well.
No, it wouldn't look nearly as cool.
That was crazy. Nah, we taught him that, right?
I didn't teach him that. And you definitely didn't.
But character-wise, the idea that, you know, the student has become the master and stepping into his own space, he's now doing things his way and he's coming up with things that his mentors never would have because they're not him.
Right.
It's not a question of skill or intelligence or who's better. They're simply not the same person, and that's a reason why diverse voices and experiences are so essential, not just for the people involved to have the opportunity, but for society as a whole, just to experience things that we would never get otherwise.
Peter, you gotta go home. This guy could kill you. I can't let Spider-Man die. Neither can I.
It's okay.
Yeah, it is okay.
Same move.
You gotta go home, man.
How do I know I'm not gonna mess it up again?
You won't.
Right. Hate to leap of faith. Not bad, kid.
Respect.
Yep.
This is not mentor-student anymore. It's peer-to-peer.
There's nothing more satisfying than repeating someone's advice back to them.
Just ask my children.
Because now, ask my mom.
Just ask me. She's done it to me before.
I like that you can see, because there's the whole, repeating it back to him.
Yeah. Oh, it's done with love.
It's done with love, yeah. But you just see the confidence in his movement, just by the way he's standing.
Yeah.
Versus at the beginning where it was very, awkward, lanky.
Well, and his shoulders were forward, and he was small, and now he's back in a superhero pose, and he's, it's great. Everything about this movie is pointing you in the direction of this is not a kid anymore. This is Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Not Spider-Boy.
For me, once again, you have to do you. It's good to have mentors. It's good to have role models. It's good to have people that you look up to. But you can't just ape someone else's style or the way they do things, because at best you'll always be a cheap imitation or a passable imitation.
Yeah.
But what you had to contribute to the world is whatever you bring to it, your unique stamp. And this is such a powerful story for that embracing your you-ness will allow you to do something that no one else can do, or to do something in a way that no one else has done it. And that's really cool. And this movie is a testament to that. And in this case, it's a whole team of people, but they're doing something that no one else has ever done in a way that it's never been done before. And like you said, you were tired of Spider-Man films, and now suddenly you're back all in because of that very thing.
Yeah.
So until next time.
I love you. I'm so proud of you. Do I want kids?
Look at us. We're a team. Me, the teacher who can still do it. You, the student who can do it, just not as good.
Hey. And watch movies.
You won't. That's all it is, Miles. A leap of faith.
What's up, danger? Like, what's up, danger?